Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. We open in the swamps of Louisiana with two Secret Service agents being chased. Joe is already injured, so Jack helps him escape from a masked menace with a samurai sword, walking at a very slow pace. The sadistic ex-soldier Charlie walks right over the agents as they double back towards town but gets seen by Delaney. This guy's supposedly a Heisman Trophy winner but leaps right over the stationary targets while trying to tackle them. He attempts to drown Jack in the swamp, but Joe musters up enough strength to clobber him in the back and escape. Next they run into something out of Mad Max called Commander Wallace with his trident and little gimp costume. They could probably defeat this guy by working together, but Joe sends Jack to warn people about the pleathered Poseidon. Just this badly injured man nearly defeats him alone, but Wallace's mask is too powerful, so he manages to skewer Joe with his fork. Elliott watches from the sidelines, and only when Jack's almost made it away does he decide to get his hands dirty. He strangles him to death, as Ellie is the leader of a group of radicalized right-wing elites called the Pentangle who like to hunt people. Meanwhile, former Secret Service Captain Matt Hunter is working on his family's ranch in rural Louisiana. Despite his young age, he's a decorated one-man army but retired at the ripe old age of 30 to care for his sister Sarah. Grandfather Jimmy explains that their parents were murdered in a cold line of dialogue that was clearly just meant for the audience. The three go to town where Matt's former army comrade turned politician is campaigning for a seat on the Senate. Councilman Larry is a charismatic family man and invites Matt to join them in New Orleans for the ongoing Mardi Gras. His wife Daisy says that they've received threatening calls lately from the Pentangle, but Larry doesn't take it seriously, probably because of the silly name. During the parade that looks really genuine as it's filmed during an actual event, Matt and his family join Larry's on top of a float. The parade is going off without a hitch, but hidden among the revelers are Pentangle assassins waiting for the signal. When their associate Andrew gives the signal, two guys pull guns smuggled in babies' prams and open fire on Larry's float. They appear to hit everyone in the vicinity except for their targets, and the whole place quickly clears out as chaos erupts. Larry kills one by running his head into the tractor, while Matt disarms another and uses his gun to dispatch all of the rest. He then climbs onto the roof and chases Andrew around, but the little guy manages to escape and makes it to a payphone to call his employer. Pentangle is a secret society full of high-powered and wealthy conservative extremists who all sit around enjoying a kendo exhibition. They hold tournaments to display their best fighter, Wallace, who is apparently the current holder of the Iron Man championships. Delaney is the youngest senator in the South and is being groomed for presidency, while Charlie is just some rich former soldier. Elliott speaks about wanting to take back America from the Mexicans, blacks, and liberals who want to hand the country over to the commies. His speech mentions 20 million colored people living in places like California and New York coming after their constitutional rights to bear arms. He rallies his millionaire friends around his cause because in these days to call someone a billionaire would just sound ridiculous. We learn that Larry's eldest son was killed in the shootout, so he remains at the hospital with his distraught wife. Matt brings his family and some aging Secret Service agents back to the house, which has been adorned with what Pentangle think of a black man running for office. Matt leaves Sarah there with protection while he meets up with his former employer Admiral Brown for information. He learns that the Pentangle is a fascist paramilitary society of 5 wealthy elites notorious for hunting minorities and political opponents. They have contacts at the White House, and the mustaches say is targeting Larry because he denied them the right of buying up all the farmland. The Secret Service asked Matt to infiltrate the organization, but he declines the dangerous offer because he has a family to look out for. Unfortunately, he left Andrew alive because he informs the Pentangle about the highly skilled stranger who killed 4 of their guys. Determined to erase their opposition, Elliott orders an all-out assault on Matt's family to happen alongside Larry's. Knowing they'll be in danger, the pair send their families upstate to Matt's farm for protection while remaining in town themselves. Matt becomes unofficial security for Larry, and it immediately comes in handy as they're surrounded by Andrew's little kill squad. They miss all of their shots, and Matt takes a side street through a gate leading to a rather well-done chase scene. It takes them over a drawbridge and a few other impressive jumps until, for some ungodly reason, the pair decide to ditch the truck. They flee into an abandoned dockyard where Matt and Larry make some more questionable decisions, like splitting up. It's mostly just to demonstrate our protagonist's level of athleticism as he parkours around the junkyard and fights a guy on top of a crane. We also get a battle strip when Larry removes his shirt, allowing a person to fight more aerodynamically as he beats a few puny henchmen to death. He does the same to a guy outside and uses him as bait to lower in another man and throw him into the water, where we'll just say he drowns. Matt does the same to his own opponent, who unfortunately didn't have the same soft landing, then chokes out some guy in the sniper's nest. Larry announces the last remaining man is sneaking up behind Matt, so gets winged before Matt can zipline kick the shooter off the crane. He rushes to his friend's aid, but the bullet only hit him in an arm, so he's okay as it probably just bounced off his bicep. Now looking like Matt's security guard, they tell Andrew to try harder next time, so he spurts off a few racial slurs before running away. He reports his failure to the Pentangle at the firing range, where we see that Elliott has all the wrist strength of a wet noodle. The group need Larry out of the way but also just revel in the idea of hunting down a minority, though they aren't so polite about it. They learn that the families are hiding out at Matt's ranch, so Elliott shoots Andrew and lets him bleed out for his failure. In the middle of the night, while the families are sleeping, the wealthy elites don their hunting gear and prepare to raid the ranch. They silently take out all of the surrounding Secret Service before launching a grenade into the living room, killing Grandpa and the rest of the agents. Kane Hodder does all of the stunt work as Molotovs are thrown through the windows and the farmhouse is overtaken by flames. Matt grabs Sarah and they escape with Daisy, but Larry returns to save his son and is shot in the back by the gang. He still manages to stagger all the way up the stairs and grab Larry Jr. while Matt leaves the girls to rush back into the inferno. The stairs give out and Larry hands him the child but is too mortally wounded to continue, so just dies all dramatic-like. Outside, Sarah is taken hostage by the Penta group, but Daisy is killed off screen because they find her too difficult to control. As Matt carries the kid out of a window, Wallace shoots him in the leg with an arrow and the pair have a rather epic fall. They murder Larry Jr. then instead of just shooting him, they use Matt's sister as bait to lure him to the hunting grounds. He's given the ultimatum that he must be their next prey, then they knock him out and skedaddle before the police arrive. Matt also wakes up and scurries away, leaving the Secret Service to assume he and his sister are also somewhere among the dead. Brown threatens the Mustache Bros not to leak anything to the media or he'll have them both shot, which is rather harsh. It takes only 2 weeks until Matt recovers from his wounds enough to travel to the Pentangle's Cajun hideout, where they're holding a cookout. The party is held at a rundown mansion deep in the bayou, where everyone is a supporter of the hunt and greet Matt with false civility. For some reason they're all hung up on preaching these traditional values, but then have a cross-dresser running their auction house. They were going to sell Sarah tonight if Matt didn't show up, so he rescues his sister and throws Mrs. Mann into the swamp. They're allowed to leave as Elliott has given the pair a 30-minute head start to flee into the alligator-infested swamp on foot. The Pentangle prepare for the hunt by getting into their dorky costumes, then take a boat out to swiftly catch up. The siblings take shelter from a storm when they find an overgrown tunnel, while the hunters spend all night searching to no avail. By morning, Charlie has found them, so Matt leads him away from his sister and then smacks him in the face with a stick. This is one of the strongest sticks in the forest, as it's capable of blocking a sharpened samurai sword, of which this guy carries 2. Matt takes the second but is immediately disarmed, like he does the same for Charlie, and we don't even get to see a duel. We do get to see a bit of hand-to-hand action as the two use their martial arts until Matt wins by impaling Charlie on a cypress knee. Matt then returns to the hiding spot but finds Sarah's missing and Wallace has tracked him down. The big oaf has a crossbow but chooses to leap on Matt's back and roll down the hill into the bog for whatever reason. This guy absolutely brutalizes Matt and throws him around like a ragdoll, as he could very easily finish him at any moment. He needs to gloat a little while waving around his knife, giving Matt time to triple strike him in the balls. He reverses the position and demands to know where his sister is, but Wallace knocks him off and goes for his knife. Before he can throw it, Matt picks up the crossbow and shoots Wallace dead, who should have just used it himself in the first place. Turns out the sister just went wandering around the swamp, and when they continue the most dangerous game, Delaney pops out with his shotgun. Matt knows that this movie isn't adverse to killing children, so leaves Sarah behind while charging at the Heisman Trophy winner. He uses the cover of trees to get close without being shot, but Delaney throws a grenade, sending Matt flying through the air. In a technique undoubtedly taught by the possums at the Pentagon, Matt plays dead until Delaney gets close enough to disarm. He then pulls a knife, but Matt turns it around on the politician and kills the third member, making the Pentangle a duangle. They even show a couple of greenbacks sticking out of Delaney's wallet, like, see, he really was a rich kid. Just when the siblings reach the same area that Jack was killed in the beginning, Elliott leaps out to strangle Matt with the wire. Fortunately, he brought along Delaney's knife and stabs Elliott in the leg, allowing him to escape with Sarah while the creep retreats. Matt then marches straight into the Secret Service's headquarters, who all act surprised, but they must have known he was approaching. Brown demands that Matt gives them the name of the final members of Penangle, but he only knows the one from a photo in Delaney's wallet. He goes after Elliott himself by first sending the photo to his mansion as a threat to get him away from his kitten, which has its own webpage. Matt then confronts him, as I guess security took the day off, but Elliott invites the decorated killer to be a member of the society. He needs the numbers, I suppose, and gives him a tour of the armory, but Matt rejects the generous offer, so they now must fight to the death. They swap through various display weapons until Matt eventually kicks Elliott down the stairs and does this weird leap down throw even further move. Elliott's tough for a senior citizen and defeats Matt with some strange Kelly come along that doubles as the crank for his choking wire. Before the lights go out, Matt manages to impale Elliott on one of his own tribal statues. That's an ironic piece of art for somebody like this. With the last known member of the Pentangletrons dead, Matt goes to the hospital where the doctors say that Sarah will make a full recovery. Brown congratulates him on a job well done, but Matt says that only the Secret Service knew that they were hiding out on his ranch. He says he's going to find that fifth member of the hunting society, and Brown gives him a very implicating look. And the movie ends.